Hey everyone, welcome back to Salesforce Apex Hours. This is Amit, and I welcome you all. Very good afternoon, good morning, and good evening based on your time zone wherever you are located in. So, this video and this session, we are going to talk about the top VS Code extensions, which will be helping you in order to increase your productivity while you are working with VS Code. So before we go ahead, a quick introduction about me. My name is Amit Singh. I'm a Salesforce MVP working as Salesforce architect. I'm also co-organizer of Apex Hours. I have also published some courses over Udemy. I'm leading Salesforce and MuleSoft group in India, one for Kanpur location and one other for Faridabad location. And I'm also the founder of SFDC Panther, both the website and YouTube channel, where I do post many technical content which are related to Salesforce, JavaScript, and some other technologies. You can follow me at the rate Cloudy Amit, SFDC Panther, and you can also follow me or connect with me over LinkedIn, which is simple. Session is completely intended for top 10 VS Code extensions for Salesforce. And into the coming videos, we will talk about the other two parts that we have seen. So here is the list in front of you or in your screen, which is Salesforce Extension Pack, the first one. I'm sure everyone knows about this extension. And then we will talk about Apex Replay Debugger, Salesforce Documenter, Salesforce LWC Shortkeys, and then Salesforce Package.xml generator for VS Code, Salesforce Snippets, Salesforce SOQL editor, Salesforce Dx Code companion, Apex PMD, and ForceCode. So this is the complete list of all the extensions that we are going to walk through. So let's quickly see from the very first, which is Salesforce Extension Pack. So as we know, or we can say as the name says, this is the Salesforce Extension Pack. That means it comes with a package of 8 extensions, which are very helpful while you are trying to do the development of your Salesforce and you are trying to connect your Salesforce environment from Visual Studio Code to say, and then whatever you can develop inside your local machine and then deploy to your Salesforce environment. Under this extension pack, there is one extension which is Apex Replay Debugger, again, which is enabled by default globally for your VS Code extension. We are going to talk about this. The very first step that you need to do is just go to this extensions tab. If you have not installed Salesforce Extension Pack, just search for Salesforce Extension Pack, install it, and then reload your Visual Studio Code so that it can affect inside your VS Code. Once you have installed this extension, what you need to do is just use the hotkeys, go to the command palette. If you don't know the hotkeys, Command Shift P is for the Mac and Control Shift P is for the Windows. And then quickly search for Apex Replay. And the first thing that you need to do is turn the Apex Replay Debugger on for your user, the user which you have connected as a Salesforce environment here with your VS Code. So as soon as you will execute this command, it is going to turn the debug log for you, and it is also going to give you the information as an output and will show you either the command has been successfully ran or there was any error while running the command. So if I scroll down here, you will see that these are the results and every single information, and you will see that the command has been exited with exit code 0. That means our command has successfully ran. Next thing that we need to do is, before we go ahead and actually try to test this replay debugger, let me tell you when we can use this Apex Replay Debugger. Suppose that you have kind of developed a UI, your end users are using that UI, and then you are trying to they are using and then they are trying to perform some task. They are getting some error. As a developer, if you wanted to debug where the error is coming, what approach usually a developer follows? They quickly go to setups, and from the setup they try to go to the debug log, and from the debug log they quickly enable the debug log, then quickly get back to your Salesforce Apex classes which are related to those classes, and then trying to put the debug logs on some lines randomly and see if those lines are being executed or not. This process is followed by the developer when they know that which classes are giving the error. But what if you don't know, or you are new to that particular functionality, you don't know which class is related to that, how you are going to get the debugs, how you're going to find out where the error is. In that case, this Apex Replay debugger is going to play a very major role for you. And again, this is very handy and easy to use. I'm just quickly going to walk you through. So for this demo purpose, I have installed this Dreamhouse application inside my Salesforce environment. And under that Dreamhouse application, there is a utility bar called Dreamboard, where we can search for multiple things. So I'm just going to hit a command, which is help. And as soon as say that I wanted to some help, bot is saying that what kind of help you are looking for. So I'll say that I'm going to ask for a house, and it will ask me which city I wanted to ask. So I'll say the city is Boston, and then it will ask me what kind of property I'm looking for. Either it is a single or it is for the joint family. So I'll say second, select the second option. It will ask what is the price range. I can just quickly type some price, and then whatever the from and to price have, I will see the list of all the properties over here. Again, if you try to find out, say that find house, bot will again ask, it is saying that I don't know what how to answer, because there is some spelling mistake. So you just need to put the correct, and again it will ask what city. You can put whatever the city that you wanted to have your house. Select the single family, and then you wanted to select some price. You can just select the price, and it is going to say that oops, something wrong. Why it is saying that something wrong? Because this time this price range, if you see, it is containing some illegal characters, because price cannot contain the character. Now at this time, if you wanted to know what particular code or what piece of code is executed and where this error is came, how you can do that. So now you have done the your end user has done the error things. They have got the error. Now you wanted to find out how you are going to get that error, overcome that error. After that, you have done that. So once you have done that, what you need to do is just go to command palette, and into the command palette search for Apex Replay, or don't search for Apex Replay, just for search for get, and it will give you one command which is saying that get Apex debug log. Just click on that command, and it is going to show you all the list of debugs. Just select the latest debug, because that is what and that is where the error came, and the end user got that error. Select that debug log, and it is going to open the debug log for you. So you can see here it has opened the complete debug log for us. Again, you might be thinking this is here, and how I can get benefited with this. Next thing that you need to do is just go to your command palette again, and now here search for launch Apex Replay debugger with the last log file. Just click on that, and you will see now your Apex Replay debugger is running. You can see the bottom of my VS Code has been changed. Just click on this first, which is going to take you which class is related with that, and then just go to the step by step. Just click on step through, and then you just need to go to replay debugger. This is the icon for that, and you will see on the left you have got local variables, static variable, and then you have got global variable. You will also see the what is the call stack, means how the classes are being called one after one, how the methods are being called. And then just start clicking on this arrow. It is also going to change your local, and if you are here under debug console, it is also going to show you what information is there. So if I get back here, and you see I'm here under this command, if I again click over here, I got this system.debug. And if you hover your icon, you will see what it has, what the value that particular variable has. It is saying that list of size of 13, which is too large to display. And if you just hover over in this command again, you are going to see that. Just go ahead and do this. You are here now, you are under this list, and you have seen that now we pass these lines. As soon as we are here under the line number 20, we got that this is the list of all the commands which we are getting from line number 18. Just click on that arrow icon, and now if you hover over to the command, which is the variable of your for loop, you will see that this is how your classes are coming here, handler file upload, and then pattern, and then if you keep, it is going to as it is a for loop, it is going to take you here multiple times, and you just need to, if you wanted to, go ahead, and then now you can see here we are here under the try now, and again all the variables has been changed, the local variable has been changed, what is the session, what is the file name, file content, and just click on this once more. Here it is saying if session is not equal to null. If you hover over to the variable, you will see what all values are there. Just go ahead, it is saying that next command, and then again we are here under this next command. Just hover over to see what it has. You can just use all this functionality, and then again we came here under this particular variable. Now we are into the here, which is saying creating a kind of instance of an interface, which is board handler, and then just go ahead and keep down, and you will see where the error is. So that's how you are going to debug your complete log, and you will see what and how it is following all those things. There is one more thing which is there. What you can do is you can also put some sort of breakpoints. How you can put that breakpoints? Suppose that you are kind of thinking that there might be some error at this for loop. You can just go ahead, and as soon as you will hover over, you will see a red circle. Just click on that red circle, and it is going to add the breakpoint for you. You can see here under the bottom left, and then again you can just run your debug log with the same file if you wanted to, and then just go ahead and then keep saying there. As soon as your code will uh, execute that particular line which you have added as a breakpoint, you can also see that it is executing, and every single information can be found there as well. And you can also directly go to your breakpoints by going there, and then you can see what exactly values are there. Just go ahead and hover over all these. So that's how you can take the benefit from this Apex Replay Debugger, and it is also going to help you while you are trying to debug your Apex code. You don't know where the error is and what are all the classes and the components are involved. So that was it for this Apex Replay Debugger. The next in the list that we have is, which is Salesforce Documenter. Salesforce Documenter is useful whenever you are trying to have some sort of we say that as a best practice these days, what people do is uh, we usually kind of put a signature over here saying that what this class is doing, what the method is doing, every single thing we usually do as a part of best practice to tell the other developers, as well as to know what we have done under this code, under this class, under this particular method, why this variable is used, for all those things. So what Salesforce Documenter does is it gives you the ability to automatically generate the signature for that. Suppose that I save this class. As soon as I try to hit Control S, it is quickly generating me the complete snippet for the comment. Now I don't need to generate anything else. I just need to go ahead and change the description. I need to go ahead and change the group, and then these are the modification logs. If you are under this method here, let me find out a method. Yeah, this is the method that we have got. So what you can do is you can just select this method and right click, and then you can select, there is a command called insert apex method header. It is saying that multiple support is not response, so we just need to select the only part of our method. So let's select this is the method, and then we'll try to insert the apex header, and you will see the header has been inserted for our apex method. Now it is saying that who is the author, what are the parameters, all the parameters that have, and what is the return type. So every single information you can just go ahead and try to use this particular extension, and I have already installed this extension, which is Salesforce Documenter, and you can see that, and that is what the use of this Documenter is. Now there is few things that you need to make the changes under this Salesforce Documenter. So for that, just click on this gear icon next to that extension, and then click on extension settings. It is going to take you to the settings workspace where you can change. So by default, you might see these checkboxes are not checked. It is saying that enable on save file header on lightning markup file. So you can just go ahead and check this checkbox in order to, whenever you are going to save your file, it is going to generate that signature for you. If you scroll down on the bottom here, you will see the username. This is where you need to change your name. So if I change this instead of Amit Singh, if I say that Amit.Singh, and then as soon as make this change into this extension and go ahead, try to modify anything, try to save this, in the bottom you will see that now the last modify by has been changed to Amit.Singh, whatever the username we have changed into the settings. So that's how this Salesforce Documenter is going to help you in order to put the comment on top of your either Epis class or the method of your Epis class. Next thing that we have is which is Salesforce LWC Shortkeys, which is my favorite one. I use this a lot. This extension enables you to write the LWC code in a very fast way. How you are going to do that, I'm going to tell you. First thing, let me show you. This is the extension which is Salesforce LWC shortcut keys. You don't need to worry about the extension links from where you can get all these. You are going to get the link for all these extension inside the description of this video. As you can see under this GIF file, it is showing us the multiple commands, how we can access these commands. So once you have installed this, how you can do that, suppose that let's quickly create a new component for us so that we can do some uh, tips and tricks over there. So I'm just going to say that simple component demo. So this is the component that we have created. If you go ahead and try to make any changes and then try to save it, you will see the signature as an effect of our previous extension. Now suppose that here you wanted to call a wire method. So how you can do that? Just type wire, and after that extension you will see that this is what you have found. And if you wanted to just go ahead and try to use the arrows, and you will be able to see all the signature, how it is going to implement or import the method. So if you wanted to call a method without a parameter, you wanted to call a method with parameter, just select that. It is going to give you the complete signature for that. And again, you just need to make the changes, very small changes, like just going ahead and importing this wire method, wire decorator, and then importing the method and doing all those tricks. So this is how you can see very quickly it is generating the code for me. Now again, if you wanted to import that, how you can do that? You can say that import colon, you can just type epis class, or you just say that imp colon. It is going to show you all the commands which you can use to import your methods. So you are going to import the epis class. You can just select that, and it is going to give you the complete, we can say that the complete line which you can use for importing the epis class. If you have something else, you wanted to import a custom label, you can just go ahead and import a custom label. You wanted to import something, some resources, you can just go ahead and import the resources. You have some sort of toast libraries, you can just go ahead and import the toast. You wanted to import some navigation libraries, just go ahead and import the navigation. Import some object information, you can just go ahead and find that object information, like every single thing you can import using this method. The only thing that you need to remember is just type emp for the import, put a colon, and you will see every single thing over here. And then when you are working inside your epis class, which is going to you wanted to import, so what you need to import, you wanted to import a toast, just select toast, and you will see here which one you want, either LWC toast or an aura toast. It can also give you the ability to import the aura functionalities as well. And then under this toast as well, you can see here it has got multiple things, like what kind of toast you wanted to show, either an error or the warning. So you can just select everything. Every single line of code is going to be here for you, and you just need to make some very small modifications. You wanted to use some event, which is very usually, you can just say that LWC hyphen event. You will see either you wanted to add an event listener, you can just see what the syntax for adding the event listener is. You wanted to dispatch some event, you can say that LWC event. And then you can go ahead, either you wanted to have, instead, if you are not getting, you can just type for event as well, and you will see what kind of event you wanted to have, event with a detail or event without a detail. Just select that, it is going to give you the complete information. You wanted to go to navigate, you can just type for navigation, and you will see where you can go to into the navigation. You wanted to go to lightning page, object page, a particular page, web page, every single thing is there. You just need to use that extension carefully, and you just need to make sure what you are trying to get, and this extension is going to give you. You wanted to call a apex method imperatively, you can just type emp, or you can just say that apex, and you will see how you can call the method imperative apex. Just select that and you are going to get the signature for that. Again, if you type apex here, you will see lwc wire apex properties, lwc wire function apex. So you are going to get every single information about that. This was about your LWC related things. Now there are most of the use cases when you wanted to traverse an array of records. How you can traverse that? You can say that array colon. You will find all the methods. You wanted to traverse every record. You wanted to filter some record based on the conditions. You wanted to find a particular record. You wanted to use a for each. So you can just go ahead. You wanted to use map function. You can just go ahead and use the map. You want to reduce your array, you can just go ahead and use that. So most of the JavaScript methods are also here. You can just go ahead and use those methods as well. And then when it comes to HTML, so far we have seen about the what we say the JavaScript file. Now when it comes to HTML, you can just type LWC and then click on colon, LWC colon. As soon as you click LWC colon, every single thing is going to appear for you. You can just go ahead, type input. It is going to give you the complete structure for you. What is the type? What is the type you wanted to have? Either a color or what kind of things you wanted to have, right? If you wanted to kind of have a card, you can say that LWC card. It is going to give you the complete code for that. You wanted to kind of having some sort of LWC layout, you will say it is going to give you the complete layout. You wanted to have some sort of accordions, just go ahead and type LWC accordion and the code is here, the result is here for you. This was for LWC. You can also go to Aura, you can say that Aura column, or you can say that Aura. It is going to give you the complete here. This is for the code. You can say Aura if you found this. You say that Aura component handler, you found this code. You wanted to have some sort of any other things like init handler, iteration, method parameters. You can find every single code with a very simple short keys. So this kind of extension, that's what I said, I love this extension, and I always use this extension to develop my Apex code, to develop not Apex, develop my LWC and JavaScript code. Suppose that you wanted to display some sort of data table, just use, and this code is here. You just need to make sure that what are all the parameters it is taking, you are putting or providing the values for those parameters. That's it. If not, you can just go ahead and remove, like that you don't want this row offset, you just go ahead and remove this. That's it. So that's how, or we can say that that's very powerful extension you can use for developing your LWC code as well as your Aura code from VSCode. The next thing is that Salesforce Package.xml generator for VS Code. This is again very helpful for the deployments, and sometimes you wanted to fetch the components. You have developed the components. Now you wanted to fetch the some of the components, like you have created an object, you have created some custom fields, remote site settings, you have uploaded some static resources, you have created some Lightning App Builder pages. Now you wanted to get those inside your workspace so that you can send those to the GitHub repository, so then those can be deployed from there. So how we can get that? For that, we must need to prepare the package.xml file. So if you have noticed that under the manifest folder, there is a package.xml file with some sort of pre-populated components. Now there are a few components which are not populated here. So for that, what you can do is you can just install that extension. Sorry, I've already installed that extension, which is a package.xml. What that extension is, Salesforce Package.xml generator. Once you have installed this, just go to the command prompt, and from the command prompt you just need to type package, and you will see sfdx package.xml generator. Choose metadata component. Just select this. It is going to open a new interface for you, going to run the command behind the scene to get all the metadata, and And suppose that you wanted to have some remote site settings, you can search for that. And under this remote site settings, if you don't want all the remote site settings, just click on that folder. It is going to give you what all remote site settings are there, and then you can just select that, just only the one. And then you wanted to have some sort of custom labels, you can just go ahead and try to find out the custom label. And if you don't want, if you want everything, just go ahead and click on that, it is going to add everything. If you want few of them, you can just go ahead and then select the folder, and it is going to show you what all is there inside that particular thing. And then you have multiple options. You can either update the package.xml file, you can copy that file into the clipboard and then use somewhere else to prepare other components, other parts of that XML. If I say package.xml update, it is going to update my package.xml with the latest components which I have added, like remote site settings, custom labels. So that is how it is very useful for you, and you can quickly go ahead and generate the package.xml, find all the components, and then get the package file for you. So next we have next extension that we have is Salesforce Snippets. So for just before this, we have seen Salesforce LWC shortkeys. Now we are going to see the Salesforce Snippets. These are also very useful while you are developing your Apex class. So as a part of Salesforce Snippets, you might see there are two extensions. One is Salesforce Snippets, and with the same name, there are two different extensions. I'll suggest you to go ahead and install these two extensions, and you don't need to find out anywhere. We are going to provide you the link for that. And how it is useful for you. So you can see here, this is a very simple class which I have developed. And suppose that I wanted to create a method, I can just go ahead and type up method. I wanted to create a method, select that, it is going to give me the syntax for that. What kind of method I wanted to select is, it is a public method. And I can just give the name, I can say that hello. And then under this method, you can just try to kind of use some for loop. You can say type for, and you will see what kind of for loop you want, either a SOQL for loop on top of a map for loop, or for each you wanted to have a traditional for loop which is going to run some integer things. You can just go ahead and type a for, and this is the kind of SOQL things that you are going to get. You can kind of run say that for a, you can see how you are going to variable all these. You can just go ahead and type that. You wanted to have some sort of if, you just say that if, it is going to give you if not null, if else. Just go ahead and it is going to give you the syntax for your if else. This is for the methods for that. And if you wanted to have, you can just go ahead and type SOQL. You can just get what kind of SOQL you want. You can just go ahead and type for, you can say S object. It is not the one. And then these are the kind of some sort of, you can say that map, and you will see what kind of map you wanted to prepare. You wanted to prepare map of a record list, from a record list. Then you have I think these both are the same. You can just go ahead and prepare that. You are working on a test class, you wanted to have some sort of syntax. You can say that suppose that you wanted to have a test class, you can say test class. It is going to give you the complete method for that class, the complete syntax, the complete structure for that. Under that class, if you wanted to have some sort of run as, you can just go ahead, or you wanted to have some asserts, you can say that system. You wanted to put some asserts, you will see what kind of assert you wanted to import. Assert not equals, again you can just go ahead, assert, you say that assert not null. So all kind of things you can just go ahead and quickly import that. This is about the test class. Now you are working on a batch apex. You wanted to have some syntax for the batch apex. Just go ahead and type batch. It is going to give you the complete syntax for the batch apex. You are working on some sort of schedulable. You just need to type schedulable class. It is going to give you the structure for that as well. So there are multiple things. You can just go ahead, and this is the one, the actual one which I was using here. You can go ahead, just try to find out more, a kind of more of the things I have already covered from this demo. You just need to, most of the time we are working on these parts so that we can get that. I haven't tried for the feature method, but it is also here. You wanted to generate some sort of interface, it is also here. You can see here kind of interface. You wanted to have some invocable context, invocable method basically. These are the kind of things we are most of the time we are using as a daily developer life, and we can quickly go ahead and easily use this extension to increase our productivity. We don't need to worry about every time what is the syntax of a batch apex. Most of the time we do go ahead and do the Google what is the syntax for a schedulable or invocable. So these kind of things are very easy things, the small things, but definitely very powerful, very useful for increasing our productivity while we are working, especially with VS Code. So the next extension that we have is Salesforce SOQL editor. So this is again the editor which is provided by Salesforce. So this editor, once you have installed that, I've already installed this, which is Salesforce SOQL editor. So once you go ahead install this editor, what it is going to do is it is going to give you a kind of database sign on top right of your VS Code, and you just need to click on that. You will click here. It is going to take some time to kind of give you the screen for that, the selecting the SOQL. So basically this extension is useful for you to prepare the query, execute the query over here, and sometimes if required, you can also go ahead and export that data as well. Suppose that you wanted to make a query on account object, or you wanted to make a query. There is a customer object that I have, which is a broker. I wanted to make a query on broker object. Just select that object. It is going to give you the fields, what fields you want it to have. So suppose that sorry, you kind of having these kind of fields, and then if you see here, there are some sort of related objects as well. You wanted to have some sort of related, like suppose that you have got created by, and then you wanted to have the created by department, you wanted to have created by email, you can say that add field and then close this. We have selected these are the few fields which I wanted to select here. So let's select, and as soon as you will select, you will see your query over here, and your query is already here. So I'm going to remove these two fields which are not needed for me, and then just go ahead execute this. So you can just scroll down and you will see what are all the results for that query that you have made. Even you can type your own query as well. You can also add this to your Apex class. If you are here inside an Apex class, you say that add to Apex. You can see here is the query which is there for you. So using this extension, you can also test your queries. You can also test the result, make sure that you are getting the complete result, and then you can add to your Apex class if you want it to have. You can also order by either email created by ID, or you have some sort of date or some other values. You can just go ahead and put the order by what kind of order you wanted to have, either decreasing, increasing. You wanted to have null at the last. The filter is also there. You can also say that email either it is not equal to null, or you can say that email is not equal to like this and say add filter. So that's how, if you wanted to have multiple, you can just go ahead and add multiple filters as well. You can also put the limit, you can also put the offset, select the API version, and then you will see the complete detail over here, and you are seeing what else you have selected. Go ahead, execute this. It is going to show you the result, either the error or the success. So that's about this SOQL editors, which was the extension. Now the next extension that I'm going to talk about is Salesforce Dx Code Companion. So this extension is developed by none other than the Moish Srivastava, who is again a Salesforce lead evangelist as a Salesforce, and most of the time is doing the live event for us, and is a kind of motivation for me. So there is an extension which I have already installed, which is Salesforce Dx Code Companion. This is again a kind of extension which is similar to your Salesforce extension pack. You can also develop the complete things with this extension, and there are multiple functionalities. Every single thing you can do with this Salesforce extension. The thing that I'm not sure what kind of API Salesforce is using in their as part of their extension, but what I love about this extension, which is Salesforce Dx Code Companion, it is using a tooling API which is much faster than the Salesforce metadata API. Behind the scene, it is using tooling API, which is again a very good thing for this. And there are many other things, but for for what purpose I do use is, most of the time I use this extension to fetch the components from a package, to fetch a component from the chain set in the form of either the SFDX source format, or you can also get that inside an SRC folder. So for that, what you need to do is just quickly go to command palette and then type ccdx, and you will see that there are multiple commands here. You can say retrieve source from the chain set, it is ccdx. So you will see here we have got multiple commands. It is Salesforce for code companion. So what purpose I do use, I'm going to show you that, but there are multiple, like you wanted to some sort of there is save to Salesforce is kind of deploying our code to Salesforce. There is also a setting which you can enable. I will show you what setting is that. But most of the time I use these two commands: retrieve dx code from a package, retrieve dx source from a chain set. So I'm going to select this retrieve dx code from a package, or you can also say that ccdx colon, and you can search for package here. So you will say either you wanted to source from a package, source means inside an SRC folder, or you wanted to retrieve the data as a form of Salesforce DX format, which is this. Suppose that I wanted to have this code inside as a source format. I'm just going to select that command. It is going to run the command behind the scene. It is going to show me all the packages that I have inside that particular org. So I have these 4 packages. I will show you in just a minute. I'm going to select Apex hours, and you will see here it is saying that it is saying, I'm just going to, there is some error, sfdx is not retrieve package source. We forgot to execute one command, which is this one, sfdx plugins colon install mo-dx-plugin. So before we execute those commands for using this ccdx, Salesforce Dx Code companion, we just need to go ahead and execute this command, so that we are getting all the installed application, sorry, the dependencies which are required to use this particular extension. So once you will hit this command, you will see there is one kind of confirmation which is asking for us. We just need to go ahead and type y and then hit enter. It is going to install the extension for us. You can see here is the extension, and then we can also go ahead and execute this command for updating our Salesforce DX plugins. And as soon as you have got these commands, now what we will do is we will again go ahead, execute these commands, and we will see all the list of our package. Just go ahead, select the one which you wanted to have. You will see that this is the one, this is the command which is using behind the scene, which is used by this particular extension. And we are also going to see in a very few, we will see that the metadata has been retrieved, metadata retrieve is completed, and unzipping is also completed. So once this is completed, you will see that I have got one additional folder which is src, and under that src I have got all these components which are there. Now I'm going to show you my Salesforce environment. I am from the setup, I went to package manager, and you can see that these are all the 4 components, the 4 packages which I have created over here, like Salesforce Apex hours. Then we have got SFDC Panther, and then we have got Salesforce Geek, and then MuleSoft Tech Zone. So these are all the 4 components. We have retrieved this component which is Salesforce Apex hours. Just click on that and you will see that these are all the components which are there inside that particular package. And this is why we are getting all these, like what are all the classes we have got, or components, classes, then flexi pages, what are all the layouts, every single thing we are getting. So this is the first one that I usually use for this particular extension. And there is one more which is ccdx, and which I use, which is for the chain set. So basically I most of the time create a chain set and retrieve the sources from the chain set. You just need to put the name of your chain set, going say that we have got test, hit enter, and it will try to find out if you have got the chain set, try to find out the data if that's there. Otherwise it is going to show you some sort of message which is error message. You can see that because there is no change set inside my Salesforce environment. Even I don't have the capability to create the change set for this Salesforce environment. And there is one thing which we were talking about is the settings for this Salesforce DX companion. So again, you already have installed, just go to Extension tab. Under this installed section, click on the gear icon and then Extension settings. So you can see that there are two settings, which is saves to Salesforce automatically. That means if you enable these settings, what happens? Suppose that I have created this component. Now I'm just going ahead and then trying to put some not data table. Suppose that I'm trying to put a card. As soon as I hit save button, Salesforce DX is going to deploy this. This particular extension is going to deploy this code to our Salesforce environment and going to give us the error if there is any error. So as we know that there is error because there is this particular method which we are trying to call, but there is no method. Go ahead and remove that. As soon as we will remove this, we will be able to see that we are able to get that particular things. We are able to kind of again that command is running and then we are getting this error missing root template tag. So these kind of things that we are trying to deploy and then we are getting the error. But that's how this particular extension work. And these are the three things for which I do use this extension, and those are very helpful for me. The next extension that I do have is we have got Apex PMD and then ForceCode. So let's talk about this Apex PMD. Apex PMD is nothing, it's a kind of static code analyzer which gives you the error if you are using the things which are not permitted for that particular thing. So for example, if you see here, I have got multiple if else, I'm not getting any error. But if you see here under this problems, you can see here we have got a missing semicolon which is there under this class. So let's quickly remove everything else that we have. And once we have removed and then try to save this, we can see there are two problems. And again, this is this extension is trying to deploy that the extension that we have just discussed. And if you go to this problems tab, you will see that these are all the errors we are getting due to Apex PMD. So if I just go ahead and collapse this part, scroll down, you will see what if you hover over it is saying that avoid empty code block. If I try to put some debug here, say that I'm trying to say that put a very simple debug, nothing, just put a very simple debug. You can see here, but still it is saying that system.system. Okay, it will disappear, and then again we got empty code block. And if you see that under this class there is also an error which is saying that validate CRUD permission. If you click on this problem, it is going to give you where that is. CRUD permission means we must need to check either these fields are accessible to us or not. If you scroll down below also, you will see that avoid long parameter list. Inside a method, we cannot have multiple parameters. That's why this Apex PMD is telling us this is not a best practice to develop the Apex code. Avoid this and try to use a kind of wrapper class and then prepare these parameters inside that wrapper class and then use that wrapper class as a parameter. So that's how your Apex PMD is useful for you. You can just go ahead, and it is not only for this Apex classes, it is also for your JavaScript classes as well. So if you go ahead and try to find out your JavaScript classes, if there is any error, you are kind of using something which is against the rule of your Apex PMD, you will get this error. So most of the time we are using kind of Sonar Cube or this Apex PMD, but as Apex PMD is a free tool, this is very useful for our developers like us who can install that extension inside our VS Code, and then we can try to avoid all the problems which are not coming as a best practice for our development. So even if you see here under this, I made the changes into the class which is test class and that board controller. It is giving us that this is the execution time and this is the command, whatever we have made changes, all are deployed to our Salesforce environment. So there is the last extension as part of this demo, which is ForceCode. This extension is useful for kind of doing every single thing, but most of the clients are nowadays moving forward and they are opting for Salesforce DX. That's what we have. But there are also few of the clients who are still following this source driven development. Source driven developments means they are following the structure of src. There will be a folder called src, and under that src they are going to have their all the components. So as we know that whenever we are creating a project using either this Salesforce code companion or our Salesforce DX, it is going to create a project for us in this format, and then we cannot follow this source driven architecture until unless we are trying to kind of find a hack. But if you wanted to avoid overwork, what we can do is we can use force code. And so for that, before we go ahead, again that extension is already installed into my VS Code, and which is force code. If not, we'll just go ahead and install that. So I think I don't have. So we just need to go ahead and search for force code. It's already installed over here, you can see. And then you just need to go to command prompt and try force code, and you will see it is saying that create project. We can just go ahead and create a project, and then I'm going to create a project under the desktop. I'll create a folder here and create a project. So as soon as you will create a project, it is going to pop up those your screen, your visual, or we can say that it is going to reload your particular VS Code, and then you will see you can see how you are going to connect your org. So you can just go ahead and connect the org. So I have got this SFDC Panther. I'm going to select that. So we can select developer, and we select that automatic deploy. We can say that yes. And then as soon as we click here, we will be able to see that all the folder, like we have got src, there is nothing inside that folder, and then we've got we got the things over here. So even if you wanted to connect, like if you don't have the username, how you can do is again go to your command palette and then search for a force code, and then you will be able to see that which org you wanted to authorize here. So you can just go out the command, which is force code colon force code menu. So as soon as you select that command, you will see here we have got multiple options, and if you scroll down to the bottom, you will see you have got logout of Salesforce if you have already logged in. If not, you can just go ahead and click on login to Salesforce to log in into your Salesforce environment. Now next thing, how you can create or how you can get. So first let's quickly talk about how we can create the file. So for creating any file, just click on this force code menu, click on new, and what kind of component you wanted to create. Suppose that we wanted to create a class. We'll say that force code class, hit enter, and it is going to create a class for you. Now if you wanted to deploy this, right click here, and you will see that there are multiple options for force code. So you can just say that save, deploy, and compile. So as soon as you will execute that, you will see that force code is executing one command, and you will also see that into the output section of your VS Code, you will see what all it is doing. So might be by default you are only seeing an empty folder. So in order to get all these components, how you can get that? To get the component, again go to uh, just go to command palette, and from here just type force code, and you will see that there is a command called get class page or trigger. Just hit enter. It is going to give you the complete list what you wanted to get. Suppose that you wanted to select all the classes, just go ahead, click on OK, and then it is going to run the command behind the scene. It will give you the complete list. Like you can see here, I have got multiple things over here. So suppose that I'm just going to it is going to, you see here it has retrieved, and you can see all the components which has been opened here. So to show you, what I will do is I am quickly going to delete this class. So not class, the folder. So let me say quickly go ahead and delete these folders, so that I can show you that actually this command is working fine. So now I have got aura folder only inside the src. We will quickly go to command prompt and then select whatever we wanted to have, what all we wanted to get, and then we'll just go to click on OK, and then we'll see after some times once the code is Once the complete command has been executed, we will be able to see all the components are over here. So retrieving file is done. You can see now we have got, again, I've got multiple folders. So there is one more thing. If you wanted to deploy, either you can just deploy a particular section, just clicking on right click, you can just go ahead and refresh from the server. If you wanted to have multiple things, you can just create a folder under this src. You can just go ahead, not folder, you can just go ahead and create a file. You can say that package.xml, and then you can just try to put the components there and then retrieve or deploy the component using that package.xml. There is one thing that you might have seen on this top, which is ForceCode toggle test coverage. So if you click on this, it is also, we don't have any test coverage for that. So let's quickly try to see if we have for this. So you can see that this is telling us sorry, this is telling us what is the complete code coverage for that, and you can see the coverage over here as well. There is no coverage for that, this particular class, which is board record. So if we try to see that we have got handler file upload, there is you can see that it is also saying that there is no code coverage for that. Again, if you wanted to create something, you wanted to open a Salesforce file, you can just use that command. You wanted to execute some anonymous code, you wanted to get all the debug logs, SOQL queries, difference between the two files, that compile and deployment. So all these kind of things, there are multiple commands you get. You can just go ahead and try to execute. Suppose that you wanted to create a visual force page. So I'm going to say that visual force page, I will say that first page force code, and then hit enter. You got here the visual force page is here. You can say that hello there, this is what the content we have, and all the extensions we discussed are already working. Just go ahead and try to deploy this. I'm going to save, deploy, and compile. So it is going to deploy the my visual force code into the Salesforce environment. And once it's done, what I can do is you can see that there is one uh, command here which is saying that preview visual force page. So you can just click on that. It will open your visual force page into the browser uh, in a preview mode, where you can also see the outcome of your your VF page. You can see here which is saying that hello there. So that's it for this session, and into the next session we will see what are the others VS Code extensions that can help us to enhance our productivity. So with this, I'm signing off. If you have any questions or any doubts, you can just put into the comment section and we will